Oh my god, it feels like everything's gonna break. Please.
Stable.
Table.
Okay.
Stable, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you okay, table?
Are we doing our James Brown impression?
Yeah. I can't.
That's not James Brown.
No.
Nope.
No. And welcome back to the Sketchbook Heroes podcast with me, Ilias.
And me, James Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Rob.
James
Brown Rob.
Jamie Lee Rob. Jamie Lee Rob?
Jamie Lee Rob.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a thing
Yep,
now.
that's a thing.
Yep.
Welcome to episode 177.
Yes.
Getting close to that 180.
Mm-hmm. That's when we turn around.
Exactly. Turn around.
Walk the other way because you're...
And then, no, when we get to 180, we don't have to record for another 180 episodes or weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you have to go back and listen, because you have to do one.
Oh, yeah, you're going... Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll
right.
just release them all backwards.
Backwards.
Yeah. So you have to listen to them in the mirror.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Okay. And yeah. So on today's episode, we're going to be talking about our biggest mistakes.
Like this episode.
Yes. So we're going to talk about some of the decisions that we made to get to where we are now. And I guess a lot of the mistakes that we made getting to the place that we are today.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yep.
Yes.
That's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah.
And or hopefully you'll get inspired enough not to make those mistakes.
Or you will make them and maybe not see them as mistakes.
Exactly.
Who knows? This is it's going to be a weird one, I think.
Yeah. So talk to who, because he knows, and we'll
talk to who?
You
We're both
idiots.
So extremely tired today.
So tired. Should have bought the caffeine.
Yeah.
But with that said, thank you for listening. And
keeping on listening. Yeah. And thanks so much, everybody that's been tagging us in old episodes.
Yeah,
and
what the fuck?
Like,
and only tagging Robert Martin, new listener, you son of a bitch.
Thanks for shouting out the story.
Especially Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. That's what I woke up to, you motherfucker.
Me too. Made me super happy.
So I exist. You ruined one day.
Oh my God, I exist. I did something.
Somebody called me by my actual name.
So for me, this episode is a win. Biggest win. Yes. And thanks for keeping the Discord going.
Holy shit. Yeah, I haven't been in.
Ever.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I've been really, being out of social media stuff makes it really hard to get back into social media stuff. Yeah.
No, I'm working on my unsocial media.
Nice. Yeah. That's where I'm at as well. It's been really, really tricky to find my voice again.
Yeah.
Now that I don't have one.
Yeah. No, today I posted an oldie today.
Fucking sellout.
Just because I'm like, well, I'm not going to be creating anything ever again.
I'm never. Just going to repost.
I'm just done. Yeah.
I have 300 posts. I'll repost from now on.
Yeah. Easy.
That's a full years of content.
It's so
good. 365 posts.
And how many of those are already reposts? So 15.
So yeah.
So
how have you been? You good?
I'm good. I'm tired. Good. Yeah. You good? Anything new?
No.
What's new? No.
Nothing's new.
No new. Yeah. I did a full week of work after our full time of not working.
Nice.
And just realized how exhausting it is working.
Yeah.
So I do not like it. I do not like the workiness.
I came to the same conclusion the first day that I did work.
Yeah.
I was like, if I could not do this ever again, that'd be great. Yeah. If I could not get into, if I could avoid getting in on Saturday, that'd be great.
But so I'm still feeling exhausted from last week.
Yeah.
And tomorrow starts the new week, and I'm not ready for it, man.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
I did draw my first thing for 2020. That felt okay. Like as soon as I was done, or 80% done, I went to Pinterest to just maybe I can just find like an inspiration to just add something. Then I hated it more.
Yeah.
I just wrapped it up and then I left it.
That's what Pinterest does.
I was like, wow, my artwork looks flat.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
So you should never start or finish with Pinterest. Actually, just never ever go into Pinterest.
Never compare your work
No.
to anyone.
Google it instead. No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have someone steal your work and make an NFT out of it.
Hey, what's that I'm hearing? Is that the intro song? It's the intro song. Save us, please. Save me, intro. Play it double time or just normal time. and here we go. Mask. Yeah.
It's just like, what?
Artists of the world unite. Step out of your comfort zone into the danger zone.
They loved 80s cartoons, even with beards and tattoos. You know they haven't changed at all. Failing sketchbooks every night, getting better with each line. Sketchbook hero, imagination burning. Sketchbook hero, sketchbook hero, pick up the sketchbook hero. They all seem to have a new life.
And we are back.
We are back. Most exciting episode ever.
Yeah.
That intro was a mistake. I regret that.
Was it though?
Yes, it
What is a mistake, Elias?
A mistake.
How do you define a
is-
mistake?
I don't know. You had like a really good thing about what a mistake is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have to read stuff now.
Oh, you
'cause
fucking
I actually
it down
wrote
like
stuff.
A fucking loser.
I know.
We're friends. That's why I can call him a fucking loser.
Exactly. Otherwise, he would just call me a loser. I'm
But
so
you add
special.
the
I
fucking,
I
yeah.
get the fucking.
You add that extra part because we're friends.
It just, it makes it sting a little bit less. So what defines a mistake?
Wikipedia, Rob. Go.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't, it's not Wikipedia, it's just Google. But the first thing.
And the first thing that
The
comes
first
up
thing.
is Wikipedia.
Yeah. So, No, it's an act
damn.
or judgment that is misguided or wrong. So
Don't judge me.
An example would be coming here was a mistake, which it totally was today.
Yes, it was. If we use the intro as a sort of measuring thing, like to measure from, like, ugh.
Exactly.
Also, talking.
Yes.
I've already used all my talking today.
Yeah. I
That's what
totally
I
get
feel.
that. I'm like, I didn't, but yeah, I kind of did too. I was like, I just need to talk to somebody. Let's call the girlfriend. And then like, I don't know what to say. So tired. But yeah. So now that that's out of the way, let's butcher the meaning of mistake. And
a misguided
judgment thing.
But basically, we failed our lives. Like to this point, like we
More or less everything.
everything was a mistake,
Yeah.
and then we kind of
Like how many things did we actually follow through with or finish and all of those things?
so
what
bad.
made us super successful?
Where the fuck do you even start?
I was born on May 12th, 1984.
It was a mistake. My dad told me.
Yes. Yeah. He's done so many times. And mom too. So let's not be
Let's not go that far.
let's not be PC, okay? They're all horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would say more or less everything that I have tried has been, within air quotes, a mistake. But I want to say more of a Bob Rossing mistake. So like it's all happy accidents. And that's kind of like the way I've gone through my entire life. We talked multiple times about the way I've seen school, and that's school for me has been more of like trying testing different things out and understanding what I don't want to do rather than finding what I want to do. So that is like I guess kind of a mistake in how you tackle school, because you should probably
I
do
think
it.
it's actually a really good way to tackle it,
Yeah.
because I was the opposite of that. I
Yeah.
tried nothing.
Yeah.
I just was like sort of bullheaded. You know, I wanted to just like, I just want to draw a pencil because I couldn't draw with anything else. I didn't want to suck. That's basically, you know, like
Yeah.
I didn't want to be bad at something.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of my biggest sort of pet peeves with myself as a young kid.
But I think like I owe a lot to my dad being like, I was going to say the asshole that he is, but he isn't. But he's kind of an asshole in the way we call each other assholes. Like he's one of us.
He's a good ass.
He's a good ass. But he's always taught me kind of like the importance of failing.
Yeah.
Or more that, like if you twist that on its head, that you will never be able to do something perfect. You're never going to be the best, because there's always somebody better than you.
Yeah.
That might sound horrible when you are like 5 years old, when I got to hear that the first time, because your conception of being the best is kind of like, well, I'm the fastest in the playground, so I am the best. But then you
Yeah.
compare yourself to like an Olympic athlete.
But there is no Olympic athlete when you're at that age.
Exactly.
You know, like the playground or like your bubble is basically the world.
Yeah, and then your dad comes in just like, boop, and just like, yeah, no, you suck, really. But just embrace that suck. And that's been my entire life. And I think that's probably why I have lived the way I have, because I've seen it more as having the freedom to fail in different things, because I always had my parents have my back,
Yeah.
good friends to have my back. Like everybody's
But I think
always
so,
been
like,
there.
Yeah, if someone lets you know that it's okay to suck sometimes, you know, and they just fail, I'm not going to say suck because it sounds so wrong in my head.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
never
my-
bad to suck. Like,
My head takes it to
Embrace
such
the
a wrong,
suck.
yeah. But it's just such a nice way to know that you're allowed to fail at things, you know.
Yeah. And
There's-
that it's so important. Like whenever I eventually have kids, that's going to be something that I want
Dude,
to.
that's something I say actively
Yeah.
when we play video games, and they're like, "Oh no, I don't think I can do it," and I was like, "What just happened to me?" They were like, "You fell down the hole," or you know, whatever the fuck it is. I was like,
yeah.
for the fourth time in like 10 seconds, it's fine. Like nothing's gonna happen. It's a video game.
Yeah. Like
It's
how are you gonna?
Yeah.
How are you gonna play a video game without failing? Like if you go in expecting that you're gonna win the whole thing
Yeah.
without dying once, like that's not fun. Like the whole.
No. But just like
Yeah.
letting yourself fail, like, is also sort of like, you know, not being so serious about your own shit all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're cutting yourself some slack. Like some people take themselves so seriously that every joke aimed at them becomes this personal attack.
Oh yeah.
Instead of stepping back and just like when someone says something stupid about me, you know, you're doing like a Greek penis joke or something, like it's fun. You know what I mean? Like I'm not
Agreement.
gonna agree.
No. Why do I always have to do these fucking stupid words?
Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Very true.
And what I'm saying is that you just like, if you give yourself, like, cut yourself some slack, you know, when it comes to this stuff, not take yourself too seriously.
Or anything.
Or
really.
anything. Yeah,
Like
really.
everything with a grain of salt.
But I never
Yeah.
did that as a kid. You know, I was very sort of, when it came to drawing, I needed to be, like, it needed to be good.
You can tell looking at all
Immediately.
your selfies. Like that's you taking yourself way too seriously.
Way too serious.
Just crack a smile every once in a while,
It
dude.
doesn't work.
Just a little.
I
little
just
one.
can't. It's like when someone asks you to smile, even if it's me taking the picture, why would I smile? I'm alone.
Or you make everybody else happy when they look at the picture.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
not
that's-
something I do.
that's what you do.
I don't do stuff to make other people happy.
Spread happiness. it is.
I make stuff that I think is funny, and then I post it, and then if it bombs, I'll make a joke out of the bomb. You know what I mean?
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck, yeah. And that's something that I just didn't have as a kid.
No.
Like I took everything so seriously.
Were you super afraid of failing, or like
To some
doing
extent,
mistakes?
in art, yes. That's why
But
I
in-
stuck to pencil, for
I
example.
guess like in
for so
what
long.
way then? Like, was it committing to finishing the piece? Because that's something that we never really did. You did more than me, I think.
No, I have nothing that, like, when we were super young,
Yeah.
I finished stuff, you know, because
Yeah.
you didn't care.
Yeah.
You just wanted cool shit. But as I got older, when I hit, like, 14, they're like 13, you know, when your brain actually starts thinking a little on its own, it's still dumb as shit, but
Well, still is.
But still,
Yeah.
nothing has changed. But I just got more self-conscious, and everything had to be. And I think you got introduced to cool shit.
Yeah.
Like more cool shit, comic books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to be at that level
Straight away. Yeah, of course.
So everything I drew was basically that comparison thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no. And I could only perform, like quality stuff when I had pencil.
Yeah.
Everything, or like ballpoint. But I couldn't do it straight with, like anything else. Like if I colored it, I ruined it.
Yeah.
If I tried painting, I ruined, like it was always garbage.
Yeah.
And basically because I didn't study any type of like how to make anything in the beginning, the early years.
And I mean, of course, this is all relative to our own way of thinking what is good and bad. So like,
of course,
if we go back and look at it now, we're just going to be laughing like crazy. But if your kids look at it, then they're going to think it's like really awesome. You know what I mean?
Or the
or
kids,
maybe not.
no, but or the kids that we hung out with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we talked about this guy that we grew up with, and
ref.
he was, exactly. And he was so good.
Yeah. Like ridiculously good.
Past tense good.
Yes.
Because we did.
Because now he's ridiculously bad. No.
Exactly.
No, he's not.
No, but it's not. He's just
getting back
stopped.
to it.
No, he just stopped drawing back then.
Yeah.
And he was like light years ahead of us.
Yeah.
But then he stopped because he was supposed to be the cool kid, and he did cool stuff. And we kept drawing.
Yeah.
And we got better without knowing it, and he didn't. So now that he came back, he was like, oh, guys, I picked up drawing again. And I was like, I was expecting, stuff.
Yeah.
And he just showed me, and I was like, mwah, mwah, mwah. And
he's still king of the playground, and we've entered the Olympics.
and we're,
you know?
but
Not
basically,
really,
no, but
we're more like
yes, kind of like
the
we're in a
Swedish
Swedish Olympics.
yeah special
Olympics.
special Olympics.
Special Swedish. But the thing is
we
that he just stopped, and
Yeah.
he never progressed past being 15 years old.
No, and we do pull from this example quite a lot,
But it's such a
like it was
fucking-
such a big
Yeah,
meaningful thing when our kind of
hero. back
our
then,
hero
yeah.
came up and was like,
He was the best one I knew at our age that could draw what I wanted to draw.
yeah, and the style and everything that he did was
He didn't
like,
do like line art in that way. He just
No.
started like rendering immediately,
Yeah.
like in thin air, and
looked
then he
so crazy good.
exactly.
And then, but yeah, it just really put everything in perspective when we got to see,
Oh man, I was so frustrated with my own work when
Yeah.
we met him.
yeah. And then when we met him again, it was like, oh, it's not that bad.
My stuff isn't that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, and it is really about drawing more. And I think one of my biggest mistakes as a young kid as well was that I just didn't keep drawing, even when it sucked. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would just like, oh, fuck this. I'll go do something else.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, who cares if it's good or bad now? You know what I mean? You
Yep.
put the hours in, you do the work. Like, I wish I had that. I was too... Like I am now, I have too much shit going on.
Yeah. Thick-headed and stubborn
Mm.
and I guess I want to say lazy, but it's not. But it's just like, it's that giving up mentality or like,
Yeah. But imagine, like, when I said I couldn't draw cars. Imagine if I had spent that time drawing cars instead.
yeah, then you wouldn't be nagging us about it.
About the fucking cars.
Yeah.
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 My cars wouldn't look stupid.
Maybe you would be working with designing cars today.
I would not.
Maybe. You never know. Or designing horses.
Still not interested in horses or cars.
But, all right, so because we're already sort of tapping into that, what do you have any like actual thing in your head that is like, this is one big mistake that I really wish that I hadn't done? Like if you could find that time machine and go back and slap your teeny tiny self.
I did write stuff down, didn't I?
You did?
I can't think of it specific. But if you answer that question, then since you came up with it and it was good.
Oh, I need to read my
your
stuff
note.
too. Yeah.
Okay, we're old now. We're doing like, where are my glasses?
No, I tried to think about it, and like I said, I feel like my entire life has been more or less just a series of mistakes, and like I wrote you, like a series of mistakes with just brief pauses of
But I have
awesomeness.
something specific. I do have something specific.
Yeah, hit me.
And it was just doing, like, because I remember specific tasks at different schools.
Yeah.
that were art related that were meant to teach you something. Like, for example, like drawing statues.
Yeah.
I remember this one specifically that was a task that we had. And now I see the value of it, but I didn't back then. And they didn't explain it. It was just a task. Like, we're going to draw statues, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't work for me.
If they could have broken it down a
Dude,
little
if they
bit.
told me that the reason why you draw, like, white statues is because you can see the shadows, like, it takes away everything that is complicated with color and that stuff, and it'll just give you, the basic values, of, like, dark to light.
Yeah.
And that's all you have to focus on.
But
And
I mean, would that really have changed anything in your life?
That's the thing. Hard to say. But had I known that it would make me awesome at rendering or, like, shading or understanding light, that would have been great, because that's something that I really wanted, but I didn't understand. I didn't understand the way that shadow works or
But
light
it's
and
like,
color.
You don't see J. Scott Campbell doing statues,
No,
So
I know,
that's
and that's
also a thing.
all I wanted to do was draw that type of stuff.
Exactly.
And that
Same.
kept me back so much.
Yeah.
And when I saw my latest piece that I did, that blue-eyed lady with the weird patterns, the symmetry, it's so J. Scott Campbell in the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Still that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just saw it. I was like, yes, you can see where the influence comes from here. But it is just like, I wish I had studied a bit more at a younger age when you actually did have the time.
Yeah.
Because I did spend a lot of time drawing. But it was always, and I still do it to this day, I've gotten better, but I just never learned the basics, so I'm still struggling with the basics.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is one of my biggest artistic mistakes.
Yeah.
I did some, anatomy, I did fucking, not nail it, but I did get some.
Extensively.
Yeah, I did it
Yes.
more than anything, and I still enjoy drawing, not realistic nude people, but just little mannequin.
Like figures.
Yeah, I still go beyond mannequin, but it's like I love drawing those little figures.
Yeah.
And as soon as I need to put clothes on them, that kind of complicates it in my head. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's stuff like that that I wish I had put time on as a young person. Because right now, I'm both in the business and learning stuff that I should know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that kind of puts a lot of pressure on you.
But it's also like...
It's like I have to rediscover the basics, basically,
But-
while I need to also have deadlines.
But here's the thing. Like, we still don't know what we want to do with our lives. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so how are we, like, once we actually find that one thing that we know, then we can start complaining about the stuff we should have been doing in school and stuff.
Yeah,
Because to this point, I mean, you're doing really well.
No.
And you're at a really
Of
good
course.
place in life. And so am I. And I'm super happy with
And that's
where
what
I
I
am.
was going to get to.
That's the thing.
No, but that's what I was going to get to. This isn't stuff, like, I don't think I would go back and change it with a time machine.
That's the thing.
The idea here is that if someone is where I was at as a young kid,
Yeah.
do yourself a favor. Do
Exactly.
the boring stuff.
Save that time.
Yeah, exactly. Because you'll be grateful.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around like I did.
Exactly.
And
Be the turtle, don't be the hare.
Exactly. You hair.
If you know that reference.
Yes. No, but seriously though, like, it's so worth investing time and doing the boring stuff when you're young. And it sounds like such a, well, of course. But
Exactly.
I didn't do it.
No.
It wasn't.
I mean, we
wasn't
people
clean.
are super convenient too. So you don't really think about
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Again, I was going to go
But I
Tyson
think,
again.
like, with YouTube, though,
Yeah.
there's a lot more of this stuff out there,
Yeah.
to kind of point you in the right direction. But also, there's an overflow of stuff as well. So you have a problem we didn't have. I didn't have, like, an abundance of inspiration
No.
being thrown at me from every motherfucking artist in the world.
It's so difficult now.
It is a lot harder.
Like when you get the urge to draw and you don't know what to draw and you go into like Pinterest, like we talked about, you're fucked. It's like, that's no help at all. You're going to find so many cool
man.
things.
Okay, yeah.
And then
Agreed.
it's
But
just
I-
going to be like this, well,
It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
immediately. And also so discriminating. No, it's just like you feel so neutered. Like you just feel
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay,
Like,
now I see what you
you're
mean.
never going to be able to perform at that level. And as
But-
soon as you start, after going through all of those epic things,
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, it's shit. And,
Yeah.
and you've spent so much time trying to find out what you want to draw as well that it's already sort of gone. Like, so when you sit down to actually start this thing, it's just like, meh. It's just like a fraction of a percentage that is like, I've gone through Pinterest and I've actually found something and I draw and it turns out really good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe 2% of everything that I've done.
But that brings me to like the second mistake that I think we all go through.
Getting
but
the
it was-
internet.
Yes.
Yes.
And comparing yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had comic books to compare myself to.
Yes.
And I thought that like those people were like, in their 30s. And I was not in my 30s. And I was like, why am I not this good?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're like 14. Calm the fuck down. And I would, like, if I could take back the amount of time that I just spent moping like a moron, like,
I would love
That's
to see
great.
how much time that would be.
Dude,
Like if there
I
was
am-
an app
oh my God, no.
that could
Dude, yes.
just like, you've wasted this much time just
would have been this
sitting
good.
and moping.
Yeah.
Like years and years.
Years of just like, and like an example that we've had is sort of like when you and me drew together, you would have like pages of stuff. And I had, drawn like the other eye, which is like a constant joke on this podcast.
Yeah.
It was like, I was just erasing.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? I had nothing. Like, you could see like 45 drawings of nothing sort of like on the same page.
Ghost drawings.
Yeah, exactly. And, oh man, just cut yourself some slack. Make all the mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're 14, you're 20, whatever the fuck you are. If you just picked up a pencil, you're gonna suck.
Yep.
So just like accept the fact and draw. Like you really need to draw, and draw to become better. That's something I didn't know about. Like I can't really call it a mistake. I didn't even know about it, but something I realized sort of in my 20s was that, oh, look, if you want to draw with the intention of getting better, you get better faster. You know what I mean? Like, because usually I would just draw the rule of cool, like, oh, I think this is cool at the moment. So Witchblade, yay, Spawn, yay. But then, like you took those away from me and I didn't know what to draw again.
Yeah.
Back on square one,
Yeah.
So just like learn some of the fucking basics. They have a lot of weight. You don't have to be like schooled traditionally in art if you don't want to. But there is something to the basics,
Yeah,
Because
it's good to have that teacher tell you what to do and just sort of remove that stress and all that moping
exactly
and
that,
thinking.
dude. Exactly
You just
that.
get that task and do it to the best of your ability.
But also you have those like, I don't know what to draw. And then you like, okay, I'm going to draw a character. At least you know how to fucking make a character. You
Yeah.
don't have to think. You don't have to fucking figure it out every time you draw a character. You know the basic way to build anatomy, or
Exactly.
the body or the head or
And
whatever.
also
the fuck.
having the chance to have a teacher tell you like, oh, maybe you should focus a little bit on this
Yeah.
or that. And then taking that to heart maybe would be good. That's something that I would have done going back.
Dude, when did
I never did.
I always
Did-
started with the eyes.
Yeah, I never did.
Yeah, exactly. Because I had no one to teach me that you could draw the whole head and then you could place the eyes
I
on
did the pencil
Yeah.
case. Like we
Dude.
talked about it at the Christmas gift
Mhm.
thing. But on the cover of my pencil case, there is a human face / torso, and it's broken down in those lines,
Short. Yeah.
but still with the eyes and everything. So I
Yeah.
just copied that
Mhm.
and then magically learned how to
Yeah.
do it that way.
I didn't.
And then that was kind of the way everybody else
Ye-
were teaching it too. So it's like, oh, well, it just makes sense. And I still do it.
I
kind
can
of that
tell
way.
you now that we're talking about it and memories are sort of flooding back to a frustrated 14-year-old is that, and by the way, I'm 37 and Robert's 37. So
Yeah, we're not 14.
a few years ago. Yeah. In case that wasn't clear, we're bearded oldies.
Man, that hurts.
I
mean, life.
But thinking back now, I can specifically remember something that I do more than anything else. You know what that is?
Eyes.
Yes, at a 45-degree angle, and I was drawing sort of like
The crooked,
the eyebrow
tilt.
thing. No, but the like where the eyebrow meets the eye, cheek down to your like
Oh, that
look
line.
at that side
Yeah,
view.
yeah, yeah.
Dude, do you know how many like that's where I started? Like that line that goes in that sort of perspective. And eyes and a nose,
Yeah.
and I couldn't get the nose right, and the height was always wrong, and and then I couldn't make the lips work because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just trying to replicate something I didn't understand,
Yeah.
and I did this for years. I did it up to my like early 20s,
Yeah.
and then I just I opened a book at some point or like saw a tutorial, and they were like, when you draw this, if you do this and this and this, and you're like. Oh, I don't remember actually when I did learn this. It's all just jumble. But I bought like a comic, How to Draw Comics, not the Marvel way, and I don't
Another
remember.
way.
But another way, exactly.
Yeah.
And that book broke down a lot of the anatomy. You remember those pages
Yeah.
of
Oh,
anatomy?
yeah.
I don't know what age this was, but that's when I started understanding some of this stuff.
I think we were around like 17, 18.
Yeah, I think so.
somewhere
I think I
between
was like
then.
16, 17.
Yeah.
Because I remember being at some place forced by my parents. And but I remember that clearly. And I did so many studies, and that opened up a whole new world. But then you have all these bad habits, that you've accumulated.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so hard to get rid of starting. Like when I started drawing like the head, the eyes were all like I couldn't fit the eyes in.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have that habit anymore. Like I drew the eyes and then I adapted everything else around it.
Yeah.
And just remember, like I had such a hard time. Like I made these really cool eyes, but then I couldn't make a pose for it because the eyes were so good and I didn't want to redraw them.
Exactly.
And I was
Oh,
tied
man.
to the face.
Classic.
And-
Fucking classic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he's jumping in the air, but then the eyes are facing the wrong way, or
It's
like the head.
oh. So you
Yeah.
change everything else
Everything
Yeah.
else, but not the fucking eyes.
because you finally nailed both eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Both eyes are looking
yes!
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that had I just seen my work back then and said like, oh, dude, if you do this instead, like try these methods,
Mm-hmm.
you're like,
Oh.
oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, that would have saved a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in that for so long, and now you see like 17-year-olds, they're drawing, like they're 30.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's because Pinterest and Instagram
YouTube
and all, yeah.
all this stuff. Yeah, I don't
they
think,
start at like a Jim Lee level.
dude, they're so good. and that's because they just like didn't have to make shit up.
No. Yeah. But that's, I mean,
And it's stuff like that I would like, because I know a lot of people that went to art school, and then you look at their work and like, what the fuck did you do at art school?
yeah.
You didn't spend time learning the basics.
No.
Or like you got the basics, but you never practiced the basics. You know what I mean? We've all seen how you draw 1-point perspective, and we
Yeah.
all kind of understand it. But have we all used it in context? Never.
No. And that's I guess it depends on the reason you go to a art school as well. I think
Yeah,
most
if-
people go to an art school.
To avoid real school.
Yes,
Yes.
100%. That
No,
is.
no, I'm not judging.
No. Like,
I didn't go to no school
I'm kind
because
of
of the same reason.
kind of one of those.
You
More-
went to a lot of schools.
I did. Yes, I've tried everything. But
Everything.
it's what was I gonna say? I lost it. Why study? Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Just to like expand your way of thinking
Mhm.
about like again going back to what is art type. Like
Yeah.
most people, if you study like at a proper art school, you're just gonna get like the stoner mentality of art without getting stoned. That's kind of what I feel like when you go to an art school. It's just like, this is how you explain art and what it is, but you don't get to practice drawing good things.
Oh, okay,
it's
okay.
just
No,
like,
I think
I
that
do this
depends, yeah.
square on this canvas, and this is the meaning of life. And they're like, whoa.
Oh, you mean like an artsy
art
school?
school. Yeah,
okay,
you know what I
okay,
mean?
Okay, yeah.
Not like,
Because I thought you meant like a school where you actually draw.
yeah, no.
And not draw your
I'm not talking
feelings.
about
Yeah,
like
okay,
game
yeah.
development
No.
or concept art or like all of these things, but just like an actual art school. That's more, yeah, I think most people just,
No, I want to.
you become an artist in the brain and then you just spend
You-
the rest of your life developing your art style because you get the fundamentals of thinking in the school,
Oh, okay, I see.
and you
what
get to
mean.
try
I
different
see
things,
What you mean? Yeah.
and then you just go out and try to apply it to real life canvases, you know,
But I think that differs from school to school because
and person to person.
Because you're talking about that like sort of hippie stuff, you know,
Yeah.
like whoa, the butterfly and the things and the everything is art, you know.
Does it even have
Yeah.
butter in it?
But
Who
yeah,
knows?
exactly.
Whoa, whoa.
John Wick.
I put it on my sandwich and it flew away.
Exactly, and there's that type of art school, or you know, like that type of classes. But there's also the, you know, like we're gonna draw the human figure.
Yeah.
Here's a naked person. You know,
Yeah.
everyone draws that.
Yeah.
And
I miss those days.
So there are a couple of, you know, different approaches. I've met
course.
both those people.
Yeah.
And I've been to a couple of different schools.
And I guess
checking them out.
some of those schools might be mistakes, and
Yes,
just
and
to
some
tie
of
it in,
them, yeah.
might be less mistakes.
And the nice thing about Sweden is that a lot of the schools are for free.
Yes.
Or like most of them are.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. We are so spoiled in that sense.
and I think that also ties into why people maybe don't do that well in school here, because
Yeah.
you
We're kind
take it
of-
for granted. You just like, I don't need education to do shit. Fuck it.
yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, it's all gonna pan
Yeah.
out anyways. The government's gonna give me money. Yeah, yeah, whatever.
But I think those are like early things that I just like. I bitched too much and do too little.
Yeah.
I think.
I didn't bitch all that
No,
much.
but
I think.
I don't know if I did. I just mean that I was too
I was-
hard on myself.
Yeah,
Like
I was frustrated
Yeah.
as fuck.
so
because
much.
Every time I saw you draw something,
Same.
it felt like you were light years ahead of me always, and that was frustrating. And then,
But I think we're still at the same place
yeah,
as
I hope.
back then.
I hope so.
No. But I mean, like, you're better at the realistic stuff,
Oh yeah,
and you were back then as well, because you drew like wolves and bears and shit, and I drew like 2D versions
Yeah.
of bears and shit.
yeah. I've always been more prone to the realistic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My dad did more of that.
Prawn is that
Prawn.
like
Yeah, prawn.
porn?
Porn,
Porn,
yes.
but
Prawn porn.
Prawn, so
Prawn
you can
porn.
Yeah, prawn porn.
Yes. My dad and my sister have, like, the only thing they drew were more realistic stuff. So I guess that's kind of why, you know, apples and falling and all of that stuff.
Yeah. They threw apples at you. Draw
Yeah.
better.
Exactly. So I
That's
haven't
how that
actually.
metaphor works.
I've never really thought about it, but actually, when I come to think of it, my
Mhm.
dad's always just copied
Yeah,
things
yeah, yeah.
and drawn from reference.
And you're a copy of your dad.
Indeed, carbon copy.
Carbon copy, even.
Yeah, it's horrible, but it does explain a lot.
Yes, it does.
It's
That's
yeah,
what happens when you talk about shit.
sad,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really sad.
but it's also getting more.
But at least
sort
we're all
of-
gonna die in the end. So it's
I've always
spoilers.
yeah, oh yeah,
Spoilers.
dude. I've always gotten more of a pat on the back for drawing realistic portraits than my cartoony stuff.
Dude, I just see your dad like giving you like a candy every time you draw
He
realistically.
never gave me candy. He gave me like a punch in the stomach.
He-
He's like, you're not
he-
tough enough.
Tough enough.
That was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
No, he didn't punch me that hard. But yeah, so I guess that's why I'm still very not super secure with the comic book style.
Mhm.
And all, like, I never feel like that is 100%, whereas a portrait is like, well, once it looks like the person you're drawing,
You
it's
win.
done,
Yeah,
you know?
You win.
So it's that all kind of makes sense now. Again, using this podcast as therapy rather than
Yeah.
anything, and just realizing now, like, fuck.
Yeah, dude. Everything that I'm talking about, feeling as a 14-year-old, I have not thought about that shit.
No, like, and we pretend that we've written shit down. We have written shit down,
Oh,
but
I
not
did,
anything
but I
we're
haven't
talking
looked.
about.
Yeah, I looked at my notes. I was like, "This is utter garbage.
Yeah.
This helps no one.
I was just like, what did Yoda say about failing? Yeah, well, yeah.
It's all fine as long as you're famous on Instagram."
The greatest teacher failure is.
Post, you must. Instagram likes, you must.
Yes.
That
what
was
else?
a horrible Yoda impression. By the way.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sorry.
I was actually going to work on it before the podcast, but then I figured, what's the point?
What's the point? We're all gonna die.
It's all gonna sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger, anyways.
Come on, do not. Come on, you son of a bitch.
And that was Yoda doing it.
That was Yoda clasping Luke's hand. Luke,
you son of a
you
bitch.
son of a bitch. Or you bitch of a son? No. How do you Yoda say that?
You bitch of a
Bitch,
son.
you
are,
must.
Luke.
Hey, what's up, dude? It just becomes Keanu
Bitch of a
Reeves.
son. You are. Yeah. But
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
because we did throw it out last week,
Did we?
that we were going to talk about the
Yes.
mistakes and stuff. So I have been trying to think about, like, do I remember any concrete mistakes that I have done? Like, apart from the stealing of the French fry from that one waitress
Yeah,
at that
that's a
one
regret.
place.
Yeah,
that
that's a
was a
regret.
mistake
That was
that I
indeed a mistake.
very much regret.
As soon as your hand grabbed that fry.
Because that still hurts my soul when I
Yeah.
think about it. Like, that's a big
Yeah.
mistake.
But at least we were drunk.
Yes, I can always blame it on that. But that's like the one thing that pops into my head. I don't think about anything else that I've done throughout my career or studies or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's all been the stuff like outside of art.
Outside of art, yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me,
But going to so many schools.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like, why did I do this again? Because you've gone to...
the Australia one, yes,
Okay,
because
yeah.
that was more of a
But
necessity.
that latest one, that
Yeah,
is,
exactly. Just a couple of years ago. I, to be honest, like, I really regret going to Australia, especially now, in
Yeah,
retrospect.
yeah.
I went for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
whereas I should have just maybe taken a step back from the being in love bubble and just looked at what I had and where
Yeah.
my career was going and what we had with the pot, like everything.
Yeah,
you know?
everything was going really good.
Everything was really going on just up and up and up
Yeah.
constantly. And I just, like I always do, I go kind of with the wind and I never regret anything. I love being that spontaneous and
Yeah,
being
yeah.
able to be that spontaneous. And I did feel like, well, you're getting older, and that was kind of like the last time I would have the energy to do something like that again.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean with something like that is moving from one country to another, starting over and just seeing how it goes without really thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think, a mistake.
Mm. Yeah, you came
Because-
back broken.
Yeah, big time. And I'm still kind of picking up the pieces. I do feel really good now, but
yeah, but it's still, there's something.
it's definitely like I am a darker shade than I was before Australia. So that is like one of the big mistakes, but it's also I gained a lot of insight from that mistake
about
as well.
yourself.
About
Rather,
myself, my art, where I wanted to be, because taking myself out of the tattoo business and just becoming a student again, like that's the worst I've felt ever. So realizing that tattooing is the biggest part of my life right now, that was the biggest insight.
Mm.
And just sort of fighting to get that back was also like a very big struggle, and it just the biggest reward ever when I got back into it.
Yeah.
And just the hard work that was put into just going back to doing something that I could do if I was just at home,
Yeah.
half a year waiting for a plastic card so I could start working. It was like such a weird thing.
Yeah.
But again, like that sort of mistake or failure was the biggest teacher for me. And coming back and having worked in Australia, like it's all just a gigantic gain
Mm-hmm.
in my artistic life. And I got to pull a lot of stuff from that darkness that came with me as well,
Yeah.
that I've been able to put into art and sort of filter out
And
through.
I think if you want to sort of listen to where Robert's headspace was back then, if you listen from episode, I think like 67, like if you find the episode Game Over,
yeah, and then the one
and
after.
then the one after, that's when we get back.
Yeah. You can definitely hear, like, just comparing, I guess, Game Over, like that episode,
Yeah,
and
with
then to
that
the
one.
next ones.
Or I would
like,
actually not Game Over, because Game Over, like that episode was sort of in the moment. Like I
Yeah.
thought of it. I was so sort of like work was really in a bad place at that moment.
I
in
haven't
time.
listened to it.
I have not either. I don't remember.
I don't remember anything.
anything from that episode.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the early ones. Don't remember that one.
No.
or like whatever the fuck was before that.
Was it that bad? Were we that sad?
No. But since you decided to travel abroad, I was like, maybe this is a good place to take a break and just
Yeah.
calm life down, and then we can pick it up later.
It had become like really mundane as well. Like the podcast kind of felt.
I think it was just because of all the work. Like
Yeah,
now,
we were-
basically.
It was
a lot
Groundhog
of-
Day.
Yeah.
Måndag hela veckan.
Yes. Måndag hela veckan.
Måndag hela veckan. Måndag hell. Oh, man. Yes.
But yeah, but I so regret making that decision.
Yeah.
I regret it so much. We had a really good episode 60. Like the podcast was doing so good back then. Like compared to now, we're still sort of like 1/4 of what we were back then. Like it is, or like 1/5 of what we had back then.
It's so
like
crazy.
it's insane. Like social media was different. We had a lot more like pull.
Yeah.
And the podcast was actually going up, like all the time. Like it was just doing better and better. And then that break that we took, actually that was on me, I think, because I said that I needed a break as well. And I took the opportunity since you were leaving, because we could have pulled it off.
Of course.
The technology was there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I think one of my biggest regrets, actually, because the podcast didn't really pick up in the same way that it did back then.
No.
And the thing is, back then as well, like there weren't as many podcasts.
No, that's the thing.
In
And
2017, early.
we were just like three. I
Yeah,
guess,
we were in a good
3
spot.
quarters
yeah.
more
Less.
unique.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see
know?
what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's the other way
no,
around.
No,
Yeah.
but it was just like, it wasn't such a saturated market. We didn't compete with that many podcasts.
No, and I mean we
and-
still don't, but now
Oh, now we
like
do.
in the
trust me.
category of us
Yeah,
in Sweden.
I guess.
But-
But we're not a Swedish podcast.
But podcasts in general.
in general, yeah. So it was a bummer. Should
Yeah.
not have done that.
yeah.
Tough lesson to learn. But here we are learning.
The greatest
The
teacher
greatest,
failure is.
And I
yes,
think
yes.
another sort of like, if we don't talk about the podcast, is I think my business life.
Yeah.
A lot of decisions and stuff I think I should have followed up on.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the first time I ran a business, when I started a company, that I was like, I'm going to do purest bullshit. I'm going to do everything myself. I don't need to pay anyone. You pay people for some stuff because it's going to eat up so much of your time that you won't even have time to work.
That's
Like just figuring out how the fucking Swedish IRA works and what the fuck I'm supposed to do. And it's like
IRA.
IRS. Fuck IRA. Fucking
IRA.
Yeah, we're gonna sell guns, bitches.
That's how they all work.
Oh shit. Yeah, too much. What's that
Of
show?
nothing.
No, shut your mouth. Guns of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy. But no,
Sons
shit.
Akimbo. No.
Yeah, well, fuck it. I'm
just trying to
thrown
derail
off.
you
Yeah.
as much as possible. Your own business, and it's going
yeah.
great because you...
But just trying to do taxes and shit. And stuff isn't even that complicated in Sweden.
No.
Like it is in the US and some other places.
You get like crazy amount of support if
Yeah.
you just call them or write them.
Or just pay someone.
They want to help you.
But the thing is, getting someone to look at that shit for you, if you run a business, is not a lot of money.
No. Not compared to what you would be, I guess, losing because you're trying to figure it out
Because
yourself.
you're trying. And some people do figure it out themselves,
yeah.
and that's fine.
And that works for them.
Yeah, but I hate all of that. I dropped out of school to avoid that stuff.
Exactly. I dropped out of everything to avoid everything.
Everything.
Just push
so,
it to other people.
So paying someone to just, make sure that everything looks right and, like the right paperwork is filled in.
Yeah.
The second time I started a business, I went, with the like this bigger type of company where you have to actually pay to start the company, and that money becomes sort of like the capital of your company.
You invest in yourself.
Yeah, you invest in your company,
Yeah.
and And it was just, like, I think you need to put in like $5,000 into your own company. And fucking easiest thing I've ever done. I don't even know what the fuck the hassle was.
Yeah.
And I started a more complicated sort of business, and it's so easy because I have someone that says, no, Elias, no, bad boy. Sounds like, I started
you
with
have a wife.
BDCMR.
Yeah.
BDSM, I mean, fuck. I'm so confused now. Everything is going to shit. But it was just like getting help.
Yeah.
Was such a... I should have just done this back in,
But we've always been that thick-headed. Like, asking for help has never been easy. Like, that's not something that we do.
You just do and fail and then...
I'd rather spend like a week sitting just trying to, fail my well. Fail my well.
Fail well.
Fail well. Yeah, fail until I
Fail
figure it
well,
out.
my friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fail with style.
Fucking
Embrace
idiots,
the suck.
Yeah.
And just waste all the time. Because I was always angry at my classmates for asking the teacher how to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And they were always like, oh, could you look at my drawing? Like, is it good enough? Is it good? Like, and I don't want to be this guy, but all the girls did this. All the boys did not do this. We asked each other maybe sometimes, but never the teacher. The teacher came to us and looked at our stuff. But every single girl, we didn't, like, it was a 50-50.
In your class, you mean?
No, actually, it was more 75% girls and the rest boys. But yeah, pretty much all the girls just asked, how does this look? What can I improve? And then they were just finished really early and didn't have to
smart.
and didn't have to keep going
Yeah.
the rest of the night or week because they knew exactly what to do. And like the teacher said, yeah, that's good enough.
You got
or
it.
like
Yeah.
that's
You
it.
got it.
Whereas we were just thick-headed dudes. Like,
And then you like, this is what I did, and that's not the
Like,
assignment.
you totally missed the mark.
Yeah, that is not the assignment.
If you just asked once, you could have saved yourself a month of work.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so that was like, maybe it is a gender thing. Maybe they're just taught to talk more, or maybe
But it's maybe it's
all the
that-
dudes in my
but
class
maybe
were
it's that
thick-headed.
like old joke, about men not asking directions.
Yeah.
Like for directions.
I can
maybe.
find it.
Yeah, I can find it.
Dude,
I have
you've never-
a GPS in my brain.
Exactly. Dude, you've never been to India.
GPS.
Yeah, GPS. GPS.
No, no.
See. But yeah. I think something that I guess if we're talking regrets or mistakes,
Mistakes.
it's
regrets.
more like I wish I would have kept up more, I guess, better communication with freelance partners
Oh yeah, you should.
throughout the years.
No.
No, but just like,
Yeah, I get it.
because I've always, the last few times I've done freelance stuff, for some reason, halfway into the work, there's always been some form of miscommunication somewhere. Mostly, of course, it's not my fault. It's somebody else.
Yeah, of course.
It's never
someone
my
else.
fault.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
never.
yeah. And I would never ask anybody for help. But yeah, there's always some miscommunication somewhere, and it's not been resolved in a good way. So like I haven't really
yeah.
felt like I want to reach out and talk to these people anymore, and I guess it's mutual. It's just like it wasn't an easy thing because I guess these are bigger companies, and I think they're used to being able to run over people, or run people over rather. And I've gotten more of a backbone and also shorter fuse and been more upfront with everything and just told them, no, this is not how I work. You told me you wanted this. This is what you've gotten. Now you're asking me for more stuff. And old Robert would have done the old stuff and just done it for half the money because that's what it would. But that's not what I do anymore. And then they feel like they're being used, whereas I'm just getting what I own or owed.
Yeah.
And that becomes like a little bit of a weird tension when you keep working.
Yeah, I see. And that's the reason. That's why I always talk about specifying what everything is in a project and just having that makes everything so much easier.
Yes. So contracts, people,
Dude, I just
it's a godsend.
No, but like just using like DocuSign
Yeah.
is like sponsored by but DocuSign is just one of many services where you send them something, they add like a little fucking signature, like you just write everything down and then you never have to talk about it again.
Yeah.
And then you can
just
always
do that through your phone. Like,
yes, that's the
so
thing, dude.
easy.
I sent it through my phone and I just had them sign it. I was like, please read it carefully, and that's all I ask is that you read, because it's like 1.5 page. Maybe it was only 1.5 page was what it was. It just said what they could change, what they couldn't change, what the deadline was, what I was supposed to deliver, and anything beyond, like outside of this contract, needs to get, like I need to get paid. Yeah.
Or new negotiation, I guess.
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I wrote. Like
Yeah.
I said that we need to write an additional page that gets signed by both parties with the new terms or the new whatever the fucks.
yeah.
And dude, that makes it so much easier because
Because there's no bullshit.
there's nothing.
Yeah.
Like it says, like if you want to cancel, I will get 50% no matter what I've done.
That's becoming
Yeah.
the 7-Eleven, where it's like,
Yeah.
this is what the price of this Coke can is.
And you
There's no discussion.
there's no discussion.
And it is red.
Yeah.
Like, you just get it the way it is. If you want more, then you have to
But it's basically
go outside
But
of
it's
this.
like you just know what you're getting. You know, when
Yeah.
you buy something, okay, the TV is supposed to be able to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and that. If it does that, I can't complain that it doesn't have Bluetooth because
Yeah.
it was never on the package.
Why can't I fly with this
Yeah,
TV?
exactly. Why can't I drive it?
Exactly.
So it's like simple shit like that. It's no different when doing stuff like that. And oh man, I have a bunch of mistakes there. So.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
again, like, we have Bob Rossed our way throughout our entire lives.
So lucky
Just
in most
happy
things.
accidents continuously.
Yeah.
And then for some crazy reason, it's all worked out anyways. And that's, I
Yeah.
think, a really good last maybe thing to say.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
No, I think
Just fucking chill out.
Yeah.
It's all going to work out.
I think if you have sort of like, you don't have to know where you're going, but just, somewhat that you want to do art,
yeah.
then do everything basically
Exactly.
like you did, like
Just-
early on.
Yeah. Just fail until you succeed.
Basically, yeah. And one thing to add to that is that if you keep doing the same shit, but want, like your life to be different, that's not going to work. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah. You keep
But,
making
yeah.
spam and you want broccoli. It's kind of not the same. Always these great
Yeah,
references.
it's great references,
yes,
Robert.
Yes. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows. Everybody fucking knows.
It is tricky though. But I think like if you think back to your own mistakes, please share them on the Discord. Like
Yes.
what are some of your sort of your biggest mistakes and maybe even what you learned from it? Because I think that just fucking relaxing a bit and just seeing the fun in all your mistakes as
Go
well.
with your gut, I think also. Like, let's take it just a quick outside of the art realm. But like, I think most mistakes have always been like in personal life. Being with an ex for way too long when you do feel kind of early on that it's not really working out, that's something that I would definitely want to change, because that would have saved me a whole bunch of hassle.
But I think
for a
that
whole
goes
bunch
to
of years.
But I think it goes with everything. Like I
Yes,
think
of
relationships
course.
are a special type of thing
Yeah.
where you're like together a lot.
Yeah.
But I've also had that with
Well, you kind of need
friends,
to fail
yeah.
at that too. To
oh, you
learn,
need to fail.
know?
Oh, dude, you need to fail.
Most people are really afraid to fail at.
But I think that's
relationships.
one of the things
That's why
where
people get kids, married, and then divorced.
And then fail.
Yeah.
No, that's a tricky one. That's
Yeah,
a
it is.
super tricky one. And we usually get in relationships when we're at our dumbest.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? That's when we start. And
Or you get extremely stupid when you fall
No,
in
but
love
that's
with
what
somebody.
that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
You get like you get into that whole thing when you're at your stupidest, and
Yeah.
when you fall in love, you get stupider.
Yeah.
And then it's one of the things that we learn the slowest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know people in their 40s, 50s that still suck at it. You know what I mean?
My parents, for fuck's sake. They're 62 now.
Yeah, and that's what
You
I'm
know?
saying. Like, it makes you stupider. But it's such a hard thing to master, and I'm nowhere near mastering this myself. I would say my relationship is very stable though. Like it is like I found the one person that can like put up with me.
Yeah. And she doesn't complain about you punching her or no.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know why.
And and now we're there. We're at that stage of the podcast.
See, that's a mistake.
No, man. But I think
that.
a couple of talks that me and my wife have had regarding that is that just like this is the person. I knew that you were this person.
Yeah.
I didn't try to like she never tried to like, oh, you should be more like this
Yeah.
or you should be this.
Trying to change you.
She's never. Yeah. It's like that. You know, like I don't know. Like I have nothing to add to that. That was perfect. Thank you. I was like, let me say what you said again. Let me explain what Robert said. No, that is exactly it. She never she knew who I was when we met.
But this is the shitty thing with me and Sana because she also knows exactly who I am
and she hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't draw with her there. I can't take myself away from her if we're together.
That's because you're a cunt, mate.
Yeah, that's very much true. That's so weird. Like, she's really encouraging me to draw and create and take my time with everything. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel really bad every time I want to sit down and draw instead of hang out with her. You know?
It's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, you're a mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
You're a mistake, dude.
And
Yeah, but I do get it. I understand it.
yeah,
It's like when you're in a new relationship and you sort of like, you wake up together, you go to bed together, you know, you do everything together. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that thing. And I kind of remember when, like in other relationships and this one as well, when I was like, no, I can't go to bed at like 9:30. I need to sit up and draw like a maniac.
yeah,
Because it's fine, you know, in the beginning. But then, you know, at some point I was like, no, I'm not going to do the same mistake that I've done with every fucking, like I said, you're like relationships make you stupider. And if you start being stupid before, it's not going to get better. So something that I learned from my earlier mistakes is that I'm going to be the person that I am from the get-go. I'm going to go work out like a maniac. I'm going to draw all the time and, you know, do all my things that I do so that there are no surprises.
yeah,
And that's something I've always kind of like, okay, I don't need to do that right now. I'll do it when she's not here, or I'll do this, or like, you know, you just adapt your life around another person's every whim.
yeah.
Or, you know, like,
And that's not sustainable.
it's not sustainable.
No.
It's just bullshit. And then once you sort of like revert back to yourself, because you always revert back to your nature.
You cannot help it.
You cannot help it. Exactly. It's that scorpion on the frog thing, you
Yeah.
know, or like whatever the fuck the story is. Turtle. No, turtle. You can't sting a turtle.
Of course you can.
Okay, you can if it sticks out its head. But I think it's
It's
whatever the fuck it is. The scorpion does what it does because
something
of its nature.
swims.
Yeah. Something swims. They both drown. Death.
Death. Very much. Yeah.
Great example. But
Life.
yeah, but you always revert back, and they're like, "Oh, but why don't you care about me anymore? You're always blah 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 doing your thing." And I was like, "Yes, this is who I am. I just lied all along."
And break up.
And break up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then you spend that time drawing.
Yeah.
And not
And-
learning, and then you do the same thing in the
And
next
level up.
relationship. Level up. And that's how you level up.
No,
And-
I still need to work with this.
And
Because,
just to wrap it up, Robert,
yeah,
just say everything we've said up to this point again for 40 minutes.
do or do not. There is no try.
There is
no.
no try.
Yeah, no.
You son of a
Learn from every mistake, and like if you want to be really weird about it, like
If you want to be real.
there's really like
A million ways
every
to be weird.
mistake is a win.
Yes.
There is like I wouldn't necessarily say that a mistake is a mistake. There's always something to gain from
I think it
you
is
know?
a mistake short term.
Yeah.
Long term, though, there's a very nice lesson somewhere, you know, like there's like a bunch of these that I'm just like, as we're talking, you're
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
one,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
one, and that one. Yeah.
So,
never
yeah.
go pick apples with alias. That's a
that's
mistake.
a mistake.
That's a
Yep.
mistake for sure.
Yep.
And with that said, moving on.
Toolies!
Oh yeah, you had.
I actually
you
have
had stuff.
one thing.
a quick
A
tool.
quickie, yeah.
Quick tool.
So I drew the first thing that I've drawn in forever.
Yes.
And I started with Procreate because I needed to try a thing for a future gig that I want to sort of like, I wanted to try something.
And you're wondering why they haven't like
Called
back.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad. It was
yeah.
bad. No. I actually sent that to them today.
Oh, really?
But I have this, like, I got a question about drawing live again. I haven't done that in forever.
yeah.
2 years.
I haven't seen the
Or- yeah.
notifications in forever.
Yeah. So what I did was I was just like, okay, let me try to draw something sort of like on limited amount of time, you know. And I just fucking, you know, I haven't drawn personal stuff in a while. So that blank canvas was like, hey, bro, what's up?
Are you sure you're gonna
No,
ruin
no,
me?
it didn't say anything more. It's just like blank, 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 blank. And I was like, fuck, how do I overcome this, and how do I come up with something to draw fast that I don't like, so that I don't get to the point where I get stuck.
Yeah.
I knew that I was going to get to it once it gets complicated, but just, you know, start something at least.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, I'll just draw fucking Symmetry Tool. So I turned on the Symmetry Tool on the fucking iPad, and I was going to draw some type of like mandala faces, something. I was just like, okay, I'm going to, not mandala because I hate that shit,
Yeah.
but just try to draw faces with the Symmetry Tool. And, you know, I just started doing squiggles and stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to draw a face, fuck it. And then just see how good I can make it look in the Symmetry Tool.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just kept adding lines and stuff. And it, like, I showed you what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it ended up being nothing. Like, none of that, you
No.
know. So the Symmetry Tool, like, there are so many ways in Procreate to use the Symmetry Tools. It has, you know, a 4-split, a 2-split. You know, it has a lot of fucking options that are fun to play around with. And it made it so, like, I had so much on that page so quickly. And, you know, it was so much fun. I hated the end result. Like, people seem to enjoy it. But, you know, I did the Pinterest thing and it felt super flat afterwards. But it was so much fun to work on, though. Like, no matter what the end result was, it was such a fun way to get a lot done.
Yeah.
I was drawing on the one side of the page, and it was just, you know, making the other side of the page. And it just felt so rewarding when you haven't drawn in a while, or you just feel stuck. or
Yeah,
you-
it's like it feels like you've gone from like jogging to becoming the Flash. It's
yeah,
just like-
basically. If
It's so fast.
If anyone has seen those people that draw like 5 portraits at the same time on Instagram right now, that's like the craziest thing that's happening right now. People are drawing with their feet and their hands and like these multi-pencils.
Yeah,
That's what it feels like on a reasonable scale. You know?
yeah, yeah.
And it was just so much fun, like so rewarding, and I just got so much out of it. So it's like this week's sort of like drawing hack, you
Yeah.
know. That was I've never used it to get out of not having drawn in a while or not knowing what to draw, because when you have that sort of symmetrical thing, even squiggles turn cool. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Because now they're on both sides.
It's
and
on
that
both
becomes
sides, and it becomes
a pattern
symmetrical
or
and a
like-
pattern.
yeah.
It's very pleasing. You can color it. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So if you don't know what to draw, fucking turn on the Symmetry Tools, play around with the settings, and see what the fuck comes out of it.
Yeah, I think half of the designs that I have on the T-Public
Yeah.
store are drawn
just
with the
that.
Symmetry.
Yeah,
tool.
actually, now that I think about it, some of your designs,
Yeah.
the bear, right? The bear face. Wasn't it a bear face?
the pug.
Pug. That's
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
Yeah, I just like
I did that.
trying to
It took
think of
20
what-
minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like 20 minutes and it's finished.
Yeah, but that's what I
It's
meant.
so easy.
I had all of the design
Yeah.
down, and like when we talked, you were like, "I'm on my way."
Yeah.
I just drew that, and I was like, and it was down.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just needed to start coloring, and again, Symmetry Tool.
Yeah.
It's so quick.
But to add to the symmetry thing, if you do enjoy doing like drawing mandalas and stuff like that, a Maziograph or a Mazigraph. Wait,
Amazing graph, how sweet
Shut up,
that
Elias.
sound. But you're
a Maziograph.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but I was trying to give you some time to find it.
No, but you're just being annoying.
No. with the most annoying.
A Masiograph is a tool for just doing that. It doesn't have the pressure sensitivity in the same kind of way that you have in Procreate.
Why would you recommend that instead of Procreate? Like, what are the differences? Why does
Because
that benefit?
there's unlimited amounts of, let's say, cake slices. If you're doing a mandala, then you can do like 30 pieces instead of just the 4. You know,
You can do that in Procreate as well.
not to that extent.
You
like-
sure, mate?
Yes, mate.
Oh.
Because I think you can do up to 8 maybe in Procreate.
Really?
Like, yeah.
I want to.
But with this one, it's made for doing just mandalas and mirrored stuff and whatever. I don't think it's expensive at all. Maybe $10 or whatever tops. But if you are working in the industry or just enjoy doing mandala stuff, it's really fun, super easy, and you'll have like a really advanced mandala pattern thing in just a minute or two once you get used to it. And also another hack for anybody that wants a good 3D model in Procreate, a human figure model. There's an app called, again, I need to check it out. It's called Inkers. And it is pretty much the Enso circle, like a paint splashy circle as the logo. But Inkers, it's a tattoo app. If you download that app, they have the human 3D figures for free. And
Very
the app
cool.
is for free. Everything else you can buy in the app. But those, like if you just want good 3D
Talking to
models.
you, Mimosa.
Yes. They're free to download. And you don't just get like a full body. You get the full body. You get just the leg, just the arm, just the torso.
Very cool.
That you can use to sort of, and project sort of different tattoo ideas or
That is
draw
very
straight
cool.
on. Like,
Have you used it now?
I've only used it to test if, like, how does this wrap around?
Yeah, like
the
a
arm.
stencil type of.
Exactly. Yeah, I did that I did a big tattoo over like a super duper scarred arm.
Oh man, that's
But just to see how it wraps around and if it's gonna work the way I envisioned it, and you know, just getting to see that it's gonna work.
Can you get like different type of body types? You know what I mean? Like
No, it's just
that would be nice. Yeah,
just a female and a male body. So I guess that's the next thing you can.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool though, because I'm thinking like, oh, I tried this out yesterday. Check this out, and then you place it, you know, and you get somewhat the same results. Like because you like, I even drew this piece because now you know, like how it's gonna wrap around your body.
Yeah.
And you get that physical thing that you can like, okay, I'm gonna tweak this to make it even better. you know?
Exactly, and it just adds like such a cool layer to a presentation when you can show it in like a 3D environment.
Of course.
The only shitty thing is when you like, let's say you place the image that you want on the body and you place that exactly where you want it. Once you sort of click your way out of that, it becomes very pixelated on, like, because I guess the size of the 3D model or whatever is so tiny that it just compresses.
It might also be you know what I think it is? Yeah. I think I know what it is. We can look at it afterwards.
So it's one of those like...
It's a setting thing. In the latest update, something changed in the setting thing. So when you scale stuff and move it around, once you sort of scale something or move, like it just, like the pixels get weird. Like,
really?
Yeah, we can look at that.
Okay. But I think this is probably for... I mean, the same thing...
Or it might be space on your iPad that it doesn't handle bigger...
Have you ever worked in like just the 3D software, like 3ds Max?
Yeah, Maya.
Because there is always... You have this... It's always something that you can toggle, but that it's
exactly.
like...
It has in After Effects as well. You can render it at a lower quality.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it's something like that, and I don't know how to change that in Procreate.
Yeah.
But
does it happen in normal drawing as well? You know, when you scale something or it's...
Well, you remember I had that problem way back.
Yeah, but that was the brush. Yeah, right. That brush shading.
Just when I scaled stuff, it always got pixelated and blurry.
Yeah, I know.
It
what
wasn't
it is as
just
well.
the brush. It was just whenever I
know
scaled.
what that is. Yeah. Have you fixed that?
It's just me realizing that I can't make anything bigger because that's gonna obviously blur it.
Yeah, make it bigger it's one thing, but making it smaller, it broke it as well. I think so. I'll show
whenever
you
I touched it.
Yeah, but I'll show you if you haven't fixed it. At least we can look at it and set it because it is super easy to fix.
Okay, cool.
I did some research and didn't understand. And
so it was a thing.
Yes, it is a thing.
Okay, good. But yeah, so those were, we actually had tools today. That's pretty impressive. But that's because we don't have anything for the retro. Let's go check that out.
That's the wrong song.
Yeah, retro.
Retro.
I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff, but I haven't seen anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've seen...
Like, apart from...
Tom Yum Go.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but it sounded right in my head.
Yeah, it sounded right.
Tom Yum Go. No, I think it's how you say it because my wife's dad's wife is Thai, and she's like, Tom Yum Go.
Stepmom.
So I think, yeah. So her stepmom. Yeah, that's even a shorter way of saying that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Tom Yum Go.
Tom Yum Go. She always made that for me. It's one of those super spicy fucking soups, shrimp soups that you eat and then you sort of like die.
Or wish
oh, dude, it's so fucking...
Yeah, we talked about this before, and
it's insane.
It feels like... I think it was the spiciest thing I've ever tried.
Like when it comes...
the hot ones, sauces. But
fuck one.
Fuck ones. Fuck ones.
Fuck ones. No, I was gonna say fuck, and then you said hot ones, and I was like fuck ones.
Fuck ones. Yes.
God
Lord
damn
fuck ones.
Lord fuck.
But yeah, so you saw Tom Yum-goong.
Tom Yum-goong, yeah, or Warrior King, or The Protector, depending on the country.
Yeah. That's
country
right.
you're in. But it's basically Tony Jaa's. They steal his elephants.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Australia to find his elephants and kick everyone's ass. The plot is garbage. Like, I kind of like the simplistic sort of John Wick kind of. They did it before John Wick.
Like bad guys doing bad stuff.
Yeah.
Good guy doing
beating
bad
up
stuff to bad guys.
Well, basically, yes. And it is like the fights are very creative and fun. The sound effects do not match. But it is like, all in all, it was a fun ride, but the plot is a fucking... Like, there's so much in them.
How many times do you watch a movie like that for the plot?
No, but that's what I mean. They had too much extra padding in this one. That didn't need to be there. You didn't need the fucking sort of like, in the latest news today, blah, 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 elephants from Thailand have been blah, 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 blah. You're like, yes, we got that from the first 20 minutes where you talked about it. So they could have just skipped more. The movie could have been 120 and perfect.
Yeah.
Also, there were like plot holes, and I don't mean plot holes that like, it was more like parts of the movie was missing. Like, they stole the elephants, and then there was no explanation because he didn't see them. He didn't see who stole the elephants to begin with, but then somehow he finds them in a scene immediately.
But he's connected to the elephants.
Exactly.
So they told
and the
him
elephants were in Australia at the time, and he kicked their ass in Bangkok. So it makes no sense.
He was angry. Okay,
exactly.
He just needed to kick somebody.
so the way he's like carrying his dad that got shot, and then the next scene is like some bad guys in this place, and then he just flies in with a flying knee, and that's how he found them. He just like went around like throwing knees.
Isn't that how you say hello in Thailand?
Just knee someone down the stairs.
Kap.
But it's just like, there are a lot of like, how did they get here? How did he find them? Like, a lot of those things, but the fights in them, and like, they're fucking awesome. But like, they still hold up.
Yeah, that's why I really want to watch Ong Bak again.
Yeah, Ong Bak is the next one because I'm trying to motivate my son to
start fighting.
No, actually keep doing taekwondo, and he's like, it's been such a long break now.
Oh yeah,
and he hasn't done anything, so I just like, okay, let's trick him into it.
Yeah, I mean that's how we did it.
Yes. And
Definitely.
he loved that movie.
Awesome.
So he was just like, tap, 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 Before I met, he was just doing all the stuff. So I think Ong-bak will be fun as
So
well.
it worked.
Dude, as soon as he sees the Ong-bak when he does the forms, just
yeah.
practicing in the air. Like, who wasn't doing that, when you saw that? You
So
were
good.
like in front of the mirror. You're like, elbows.
Chop, chop, chop.
Yeah, spinning elbows. Like, yeah.
It's like fire meets. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So
Something-
it's going to be awesome. So
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing Ong-bak. I just don't have Ong-bak and I can't rent it anywhere.
Fight on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. YouTube might have it actually because YouTube has a lot of
I
shit.
think so.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was going to go to get the protector.
I noticed that I like Apple TV because they have a lot of fucking movies.
Mm-hmm.
And I just realized that my PlayStation has Apple TV. So I can actually watch it on the TV. Because usually I just stream from my
I have
phone.
Apple TV on my PlayStation too.
I didn't know that it was on there because
Dude.
I thought you had to buy the Apple TV thing because that's the
no,
only
no.
other way to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a PlayStation and it has Apple TV. And I said like, oh, we can't watch that. I don't have Apple TV.
You got Blockbuster too if you want it. Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
it's nice to be able to actually, watch what I have already bought on my Apple TV.
That's
account.
also good. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Smart.
yeah. So now I can actually watch everything on the TV.
Oh, great.
So now I can see everything on my phone.
Yeah. I've actually only gone into Apple TV once to just check, like, oh, what's this? And that was it.
Well,
Well,
if
maybe
you-
I should check it out.
If you want to see something cozy, though, I would recommend you to watch Ted Lasso. Holy shit, was it? It's such a feel-good... And Jody, that sold it in. Thank you, Jody. I did not expect it to be that good. Like, it's such a feel-good... And everybody loves Sudeikis.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck his face is.
Yeah, he's just
He's
this
just
likable dude.
so likable, yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably an asshole in real life. He's like the
Probably.
Hugh Grant of, whatever the fuck. Because Hugh Grant always played like the awkward, like love interest.
Yeah,
and
yeah. He's
and then in
always so
real life,
likable
he's
and-
such a
yeah.
fucking playboy asshole type of person. You're like, I see that. I
Yeah.
see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get
Mhm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only big thing that I've seen is The Eternals.
The Eternals.
The Eternals. And
Please share your thoughts. I'm still trying to sort of muster up the will
I
to
think,
see it.
if anything, just watch it because it's available now.
But it's
so
long.
it's free on Disney
But
Plus.
it's so long.
Yeah.
It's more than half an hour.
It's 2:45.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't.
Oh my.
well, yeah, it
God.
kinda does.
Yeah, it does.
So, starting off, let's just say that I have never ever fallen asleep to a movie, more or less, unless I've seen the movie before. I've never ever fallen asleep to a Marvel movie the first time I see it, and I nodded off twice to this one.
just like the yawns, I was like, hold
Just time it. Yeah. No, so
Oh, jeez.
that's one.
Okay, yeah.
So it's very slow. The second part is that all the bad guys are CG bad guys. And there's 10 heroes in this movie that are being introduced for the first time. So we
it's
are.
like Civil War, but they're introducing everyone.
I stand by my comparison to like this is the Marvel's Justice League.
Yeah.
I still think so after seeing it now. Like that's what I would call it. It's still better than
the
Justice
extended version. or
League.
the,
It's still better than Justice
the
League.
Snyder
I think.
cut. That's what I mean.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Is it the Snyder cut?
I'd say the Snyder cut is better than this one.
Okay.
But
That's just a lot because
yeah.
I didn't like that one.
but there's just something with this that I kind of liked anyways. So like I will be going back to see it again at some point.
I heard that the end credits are the best thing about this.
Yeah, the end credits.
And end credits. Yeah.
So there's two.
Yeah.
The good thing about Disney Plus is you have the skip credits and you get all the way. Like they
my
have
God,
that button.
Thank God.
It's so great.
Thank you, Disney. The
Um,
only good thing you've done.
And I would say the last part of the last
Yeah. I
clip.
I
That-
haven't seen
that
anything.
is-
That's only what I've heard.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're not 100% sure it is what we
It
think
is.
it is.
Okay.
But if it is, it's really cool.
It's great.
It's really cool. But I mean, it's an okay movie. If you don't have anything else to watch and you have almost 3 hours to spend,
I need to check.
go right ahead and have fun with it. But like,
haven't seen anything.
what else can I say about this movie? Like, I wouldn't recommend it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a great movie. I guess it's just so big in scope. Like, it's such a crazy story. Yeah. God, I don't know how to sell in this movie.
No, I don't think you need to
It's,
sell it, actually.
no.
Because I think my problem that I've realized, even with Spider-Man, or like not Spider-Man in general, but the latest Marvel movies, is that I'm so tired of like everything being just heavy CGI.
Yeah.
And
And
I think-
this isn't heavy CG. This is just like light CG that is bad. It's like if it was
No, but I'm just
heavier,
tired.
maybe would have been better.
No, but I mean
I don't
like
know.
the ending of
Oh,
Shang-Chi.
yeah.
I mean the ending of Black Widow when it's all like it becomes plastic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It suddenly doesn't.
This one does that even more.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
and I'm so tired of that. Like,
Yeah.
why can't you just fucking make things and then add supporting CGI? I
Yeah.
understand that Spider-Man doesn't work, but I think like most of the times, I think there are some key scenes in Spider-Man No Way Home that when he jumps around and fights Dr. Octopus, where they do that little extra, and that little extra is just CGI
Yeah.
fiesta. Whereas when it's a bit quicker, you don't really have time to.
You don't register.
You don't register
that it
the
is.
unnatural movements that are
exactly.
CGI, basically.
It's too clear
Yeah.
and clean, and that makes it.
That's
look,
what makes it look bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they zoom out a bit and he's like moving at a pace where you can follow, and it doesn't look great. You know,
Yeah.
and I totally get that it's a super complex thing to create, and that's why I appreciate those quick cuts. You know, and sort of like most of the time, Spider-Man just does Spider-Man things, and you don't think about the CGI.
No, exactly.
So
But here, every time the bad guy is in the shot,
Yeah.
you think about the CG.
CG, yeah.
They do a lot of cool other stuff, but just
Yeah.
the bad guy in general, or bad guys, I guess, they are too CG, and it doesn't work. And then also, like every single character, again, new people introduced into the Marvel universe. This is the first time most of these people are doing one of these big scope CG movies, and they all have to work with CG elements of like manipulating things in space that they're not touching.
touching or understanding.
So like
sometimes.
when Angelina is kind of fighting, if you've seen the trailer, like she has weapons, you know, those are CG. I don't know what she's using in the
Why,
actual
though?
scenes.
But that's what I mean.
It just, like,
why?
She does it better than most of the
Yeah,
cast,
yeah.
but everybody else is kind of working with same things, and it just doesn't look
Why don't
good.
you just make the weapons?
Yeah, exactly. Like, how hard would that be?
Fucking make replicas, yeah, that they swing around like fucking normal people.
But with everybody. But then also, you have
props, motherfucking props. Make props.
one of the characters, the Korean dude from Train to Busan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a bit bulky.
Oh, he's in this?
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. I
He-
haven't seen Train to Busan. It's
Yeah.
on my top of my watch list.
It's that's definitely a really great movie.
I
that
know.
most people should watch. I haven't seen the sequel, so I can't say anything
I
about that.
heard the first
Yeah.
one is better.
And I think the first one is perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
But
but
I-
there's a really cool character in that movie, and he, like, that
And it's
actor
also
is a cool character
the
in this
Indian
movie.
guy from whatever that show, Silicon Valley show that I watched.
Yeah.
He's also in it. I really liked him in Silicon
Dude,
Valley.
he is ripped. Damn.
Oh, really?
He's cut. Like,
No, but he was really good in
Holy
Silicon
shit.
Valley. Yeah,
yeah.
I liked him there.
And he's like, I think he's the most enjoyable part of this movie as well. But it kind of feels forced at times,
think,
of course. They need that little bit of humor. But
But it's
no,
Justice League level.
so the Korean guy, like his power is pretty much punching really hard, and he's punching air. So there's no impact. So whenever he's like winding up and doing this super
Yeah.
punch, it's just like
like-
bad.
Oh,
Just
no.
you don't feel the impact. It looks really stunning and cool, but it's just a guy
Dude.
punching air and then a CG thing doing CG things, you know? So like with all that said,
Yeah.
like
But that was a
Bleh.
problem for me with the 10 Rings as well.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi with the rings sometimes. Like in the beginning,
yeah.
when he fights that Chinese army there.
Yeah.
Like the, I was like,
Was that necessary? Like, did you really?
No, you could have skipped all of that.
And why is it called 10 rings? I mean, it's 10 bracelets, right?
10
Like-
rings. They're rings, Robert.
Like in the comics, they are rings. That's why it's rings. But now they're just circles that are bracelets. He's got 10 bracelets.
yeah,
That's what it is.
ring.
10 bracelets.
10 rings, Robert.
Yeah, yeah.
Shut your dirty
But yeah,
mouth.
so if you're adding to make your life a lot more boring, watch The Eternals.
The Eternals.
Hopefully, we'll get so much more of this.
No, you know
in the
what
future.
I think? If you sometimes you're just like, why is life so perfect? And do I deserve this? Then you watch The Eternals just to balance out that
Yeah.
positivity that you're
Exactly.
harboring.
Make your life a little less
Just-
happy.
Just
Yeah.
pull it back a little, just to really appreciate where you're at
Yeah.
by watching The Eternals.
Yes. No, there's a lot of
And I
good
haven't
things
seen
here.
it.
There's a lot of good things here that they could have done, but I feel meh. I think the story is too big to make into one movie, which is why I feel they did the mistake of Justice Leaguing it.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd say if you have time, check it out, and then
Okay, I'll
you
make
decide.
that my one goal for this year is to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Go for it.
Maybe I can split it up into 5 parts.
I'm sure it has a significant meaning in the future of the MCU. Like
I
it's
hope
gonna
not.
tie back in somehow. So maybe like it's a filler. This is a filler. Hopefully, it'll lead to something really awesome in the future. I don't think so.
I
I do feel like the MCU is dead now. Like,
Yeah.
it's done.
I
Like,
actually, I thought about something compared to like when we talked about Encanto last time.
Yeah.
And
I just hear Canto.
fuck.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I've never thought about. Okay,
Yeah.
now you ruined that.
El
Yes, thank you.
Canto.
El Canto. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Fuck. You ruined that for everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
I
but-
bring you Eternals and cunts.
But I think the movie, it's an important movie, like when it comes to representation,
Yeah.
about like different cultures. And my problem is though, like the whole Disney being so but so heavy-handed on the wokeness. You know what I mean?
yeah.
In everything.
And that's what is noticeable in Eternals as well.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
the last thing.
Yeah.
Very much. The hand of Disney.
But I had a comparison here. Fuck. Yeah. Regarding to the whole sort of like heavy CGI thing that I'm tired of as well.
Yep.
But now I'm really, really getting into that. It's all feeling the same. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's why I loved Arcane.
Yes.
Like,
something
haven't-
different.
No, but I haven't loved anything as much as I loved Arcane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Arcane was, I think, the best thing that has happened since the Spider-Verse. Like, I'm not kidding, but it is, like, between now and Spider-Verse, those are the only two things that I can say, hands down, that I watched and felt, like, happy inside.
Yeah.
And Arcane shouldn't make you happy in that sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah, no,
it's so dark. Like, but it's
But it definitely
so
should.
good. But it
No, but
definitely
it
should.
does.
Yeah.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
it-
I totally agree with you. Almost to like 100%. I
Because-
don't remember anything that I've enjoyed as much
But dude, who are the protagonists in this movie?
in The Eternals.
No,
No.
in Arcane.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
mostly girls.
Yeah.
And there's no talk about them being strong. There's no talk. They're just taking the story forward. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's awesome. It's not that heavy-handed Disney fucking.
Nope.
I'm so tired of all that, and that's what I think why we both enjoyed like Nobody.
Mhm.
It's like when people just create cool shit.
For the
For the
sake,
sake
of
of
cool
cool
shit.
shit, yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Something that I've realized now, it's a weird comparison maybe, but because I've YouTubed so much, it kind of feels like movies have become
Like yeah,
everybody's just clicking the same YouTube clip, and then that streamlines your flow in
actually yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's all just the same shit over and over and over and over again.
Mhm.
Like that's why every
No, but
movie is the same movie, because that's the only thing that we click on, and that's the only thing that sort of generates money. So that's the only thing
But
that's
I
going
also
to
think
keep
it's like
going.
people are trying to be safe. You know, you don't want to
course.
offend anyone. You don't want to do like,
They want to make money.
and everybody wants to make money. Yeah.
I mean,
And
you can't make more movies if you're not making money. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah. But
know.
it's such a. I'm getting so.
But you can't only make $200 million movies about the same thing
Yeah, about the same thing. Yeah.
over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm
Split
getting
that
really, really tired of sort of entertainment right now.
Yeah, me too.
I think Arcane and
I've never-
I'm just gonna keep watching Arcane over and over.
I never thought I would say that
Yeah,
in my
but
lifetime.
I just
yeah.
realized that watching Spider-Man actually was I was like, yeah, I like this movie,
But yeah, exactly. It's still like it didn't.
No, but the thing is, what could they change to make it? You know, like it's a hard franchise to
I
develop. Like
guess-
it's all going to get very complicated at this point. They've done 30 of these fuckers now. You know,
Oh, yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's only so many times you can reinvent the wheel.
yes.
But it's
And-
fucking Spidey, man. You know.
Yeah,
You
but
can't-
then again, like it feels like we're not learning.
Yeah.
Like that new Tom Holland movie based on the Uncharted games.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Who's excited for that one?
But it just feels like another like cheap like Tomb Raider.
Rip-off. Yep.
No, but it feels like it is basically
It
like
is.
Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, that type of like adventure type movies, but just like not good though.
No.
Like we haven't even seen the movie and we know for certain that it's not good.
And why can't they make a good Lara Croft movie?
Why? Yeah.
Like she is the coolest.
But they had the perfect fucking cast there. Like why couldn't they just make that work?
Both of
those,
the actresses or actors that have played
Yeah.
Lara Croft have been amazing casting.
Yeah.
But what do? They botch it.
I don't know how you could fail. Like it's such a simple thing.
Yeah.
But you always need to add that weird CGI stuff that breaks it all.
Yeah.
Or like just
Like, do you have to go super big monster? Can't you just have a really cool human?
or like a
bad guy?
mystery or something. Yeah. Something you can actually pull off.
Yeah. Like a really, really rich person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, an asshole. Like basically that's what Uncharted is. The bad guys are always some, like usually there are some like he's trying to get to the treasure and then there's this sort of rich man with his sort of army trying to get to that same thing. Indiana Jones basically.
Yeah, exactly.
But just keep it simple,
Yeah.
even though Indiana Jones 4 botched it.
Oh yeah. Let's hope
But that's
Indiana
what-
Jones 5
But
is,
dude, but that's what
gonna
happens
save it.
when you make a remake with the same actor 30 years later,
Yeah.
when he's like 70.
But why are they making it number 5?
I don't know.
Because
Money.
yeah. And they can't be original anymore.
No. And it's but I think it's like I don't know what it is, man, but cinema is getting really boring.
Yeah. No, I think we are looking at the end of
I don't think it's I
like-
think we're at I would say we're at a
crossroads.
yeah, or like a sort of at a ledge, like
Turning point?
Yeah, something's gonna need
Close
to
to
happen.
180.
Soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I'm hoping that some more like independent stuff comes out soon.
That's
like
what I hope too. But
like Chronicle came, and then he made.
but they're not
Fantastic
getting
Four.
any money. They're not getting any money.
Yeah, but
It's only Netflix that has that kind of
no.
clout,
Yeah.
or like those streaming services.
But I'm
And
fine with that. I'm fine with that. I actually
as long
thought
as it's
that.
good.
What was that weird sci-fi one we looked at with Natalie Portman? With
Oh
the
yeah,
weird-
yeah.
But just like even if it isn't the best, it was something different. And up to the ending, it was actually pretty good. You
Yeah.
know, and the ending was okay.
Yeah, I really love that movie.
Yeah.
Actually,
I-
I've gotten so much shit for saying that.
No, I
Like,
actually
so many
enjoyed it.
people
Yeah.
did not like it as much as
no.
I did.
But I
But I
think a
can't
lot of people
remember-
had the book
Extinction? No.
Extinction, but something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was something different. You know,
I haven't seen that in forever now.
neither have I.
I should go back.
But I really liked the idea behind
yeah,
it.
and it had this weird.
But it was also uncomfortable. You
Yeah,
remember?
exactly.
It
Like
had
the whole movie
yeah.
had this, like you just felt it in your stomach watching it. Like
Yeah.
something was off constantly,
Yeah.
and it was beautifully made. Like
No, but it was like beautiful
Those-
scenery with creepy fucking things.
and the weird sort of just combining different things. Like genius. It's
yeah,
so
no, I really enjoyed it.
yeah.
It had like like most movies do. Like it has a couple of points that are like, ooh.
Yeah.
But you know, if like 90% of the movie is good, you can see past them. Like,
Of course.
Shang-Chi had, you know, a terrible ending in
Yeah.
my opinion.
It's
But
like
all in all, like up to the point where they get to that place.
70% of the movie was okay. You know.
Yeah, and
then-
I enjoyed, you know, like big parts of the action.
Yeah.
That was really well choreographed.
Yeah.
So it really like held up to that ending.
It
part.
hasn't gone that well. Like it's gotten
Really?
Yeah, it didn't go as well as they planned. So, like, it's gotten a lot of unnecessary shit. I think.
No, I enjoyed it.
But
But as a kid, my son loved the ending. Like,
Imagine us being
dude, at
his
that age,
and
I
seeing
would
that
have
movie.
fucking loved it. It's like when we
Yes.
recommended Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
No one loved it.
Of course
Like, I think 3 people wrote back, like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
They did not have nostalgia keeping that
But
shit
they also
together.
have no brains.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck you.
Fuck you! It's the best
You're
movie
wrong.
ever.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to
No,
stand
I
up.
actually did rewatch it after they said that, and I was like, I see where nostalgia is.
And I actually rewatched it and I loved it again.
Yeah,
always.
no, I think Kurt
I really
Russell's no, it's some of the worst acting. I expect Kurt Russell to be so good in everything that when I watched this, I was like, what?
No, I laugh every time he opens his mouth.
It's so bad though. Like,
Yeah, but
the
in the
acting-
best
yeah.
possible way.
Oh,
That's
man,
the thing.
The acting, I was not expecting it to be so bad. Like like in my head, like, you know, later Kurt Russell, you know, when he actually acted, even when he doesn't act actually in Tango and Cash and all that, like he's so good. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's so charismatic. But
just
in this,
is, you
Yeah. But in this movie, like he's charismatic, but also a terrible actor. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's early.
It's
It's
perfect is
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
but it was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun.
And speaking of perfect, the new Boba Fett.
Wow, I feel so
Yeah.
negative now. I
Yeah.
thought to myself like, yeah, I'm gonna try to have like a positive outlook here, but no,
No.
some mistakes are
Yeah.
no.
Just because we are in that spiral of
Yep.
tossing shit on things. But yeah, episode 3, Boba Fett, or the Book of Boba Fett. If you haven't seen it, a little bit
I
of
feel
a
good for you, son. You
Yeah.
got other shit to do,
Maybe
and
wait-
Boba Fett
yeah.
ain't one.
Exactly. Maybe wait another week and maybe you'll see something good.
Yeah, wait for us to talk about the next episode, and
Yeah.
then maybe watch this one.
Yeah, maybe it'll all be good. But
Okay,
yeah,
so
spoiler
spoilers,
alert.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you listen up to this point, thank you, we're sorry, and goodbye.
Yes, all of those things.
I
In
stole that
era.
from Nerdit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they always say tack och förlåt.
Oh, you should never, ever say that you steal things. Like, you just
Oh.
borrowed it.
Yeah, we borrowed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah, and happy belated birthday, Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good boy. Such a good boy.
Such a good boy.
But yeah, so, yeah. Boba Fett.
Yeah. Not impressed.
Not impressed. No,
This
like-
is the worst episode.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was okay, you know, like up to like the first 2 episodes, like getting the backstory of what
Yeah.
what has happened.
Yeah.
A bit slow on like because usually these shows aren't that many episodes, and the last 2 or like the first 2, you know, got us basically nowhere.
Well, yeah.
You know, they just filled out the backstory, and I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
But this one does even less. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
this
we
one-
get nothing. We got
I would say this one actually is a filler episode.
yeah.
That's what it
but
really
you
feels
make
like.
10 episodes. There's no room for a filler episode. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think this episode had like one good thing.
Black Chrysanthemum.
No. What happened to like the what we've seen previously?
Yeah.
Why did he become the dummyo? You know, the dummyo.
The dummy. The dummyo. That's great.
But yeah. So. Oh my, gotta get past that. But you know, like, why didn't no? But yeah, but exactly. But that's what it felt like after this episode. But just you know, like what happened and why he chose this path.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
there's a reason, and I thought that part was like really good. But the fuck.
Yeah. No, and so I did like that. Let's call him Black Chewy then. Black Chrysanthemum came back in this one, but
No,
it
I
was
expected
so,
him to come back, but it was
Yeah. that was the choreography and everything was so weak. It just felt horrible.
Dude.
He's supposed to be the baddest warrior in the galaxy.
Dude,
He's like-
every fight or every action
thing.
sequence
Yeah.
in this episode was directed by garbage.
Yeah.
Not the band.
No, that would have been better.
That would have been better. I have words. Derp.
I think I'm paranoid.
Dude, I saw the fucking Warrior King Tom Yum Ga.
Yeah.
And also the Protector, I saw actual fighting, and then I saw Boba Fett.
Yeah. You should have done it the other way around.
The other
Yeah,
way around.
yeah.
Like, this is how you don't do it. This is how you do it.
Well, I didn't watch any good action after seeing
it
that
still
one,
sucked.
So, yeah, it still sucked.
But
No,
yeah.
I was so disappointed. That fucking... I don't even want to call them a biker gang.
No,
because
the
that's-
Vespa boys.
Yeah, the Vespa boys. The Vespa boy...
And the girl.
And the girl. Yeah.
And the girl.
So apparently, maybe the girl is like an important Jedi figure, but I don't want to see
Oh, yeah,
her
I call
again.
them the Spice Gang.
Yeah,
What
the
was it? Spice
yeah,
Girls.
the
Yeah.
Spice Girls. Spice Gang.
Yeah, Spice Gang, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the spice mentioned in previous episodes.
And not those spies that go like sneaky, but
Yeah.
spies as in
Like
bice.
bice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta say- Which means poop in Swedish.
Yes, bice.
Bice.
Spice, baby.
Yeah. I
But the
have
fucking-
nothing.
Yeah, polished scooters. Are you fucking
Dude,
kidding me?
like those
Driving
retro
in
scooters. Yeah.
like what are those
Fits-
called? Permobil, like
yeah,
the
they're driving those.
retiree
Yeah.
little
I don't
carts.
know. What the fuck are they called? Shit, what the fuck are they called? Like those little scooters that old people drive,
Yeah.
the 3-wheel drive.
Exactly.
That's
Little
what
lady.
they look. No, but I like the design and the colors in something else. It does not fit the Star Wars universe.
That's Disney for
and
you.
also they have modern clothes that look not like they're some rich empire people. No, it just looks like something from our world
Yeah,
with
like
gadgets on them. Like
bad cosplay from our world,
no, it just looks weird.
and more like cyberpunk 2077.
2019. Cyberpunk
1999, maybe.
1999. Yeah, exactly. No,
yeah,
it was just so bad.
so bad.
And
yeah,
they
and there was no like likable character in that group. There was no
Yeah.
connection to them. He just walks up and sort of like, yeah, just give them money and they're gonna come with me now.
Yeah,
Like,
they work for me. And then, like, if you want to be my lover,
You gotta buy
get
me
with
some spice.
spice.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
so bad.
It's so bad. Yeah, it's so bad. And you know how Boba Fett, at least when you see him in Mandalorian the first time,
Yeah.
you're like, respect.
Yeah, dude.
You see
rock.
these,
That's
but
kind of-
and
yeah.
again, like most like people you meet in the Mandalorian, like you either respect them, you hate them, like there's something here. Like I mean, like character wise, like they fit the narrative, the story,
Yeah.
But these fuckers, the Spice Gang,
They don't fit anywhere.
they don't fit style wise.
No.
It just feels like something is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, did they not mute the colors? Did they, like it's.
Yep.
Why did they forget to dress up for Star Wars?
And then they
like,
had these, like they were supposed to be so superior with their
with
modifications.
their
and stuff.
modifications.
There was nothing
But
superior
dude,
about
even
that.
that tech
he
doesn't
could
look Star
light a
Wars.
cigarette without a lighter because he's got a lighter in his arm, kind of. Like that was the best one. Like
yeah,
what the
I have
fuck?
no word.
What the fuck? And
then
this
you
is Robert
it's-
Rodriguez doing this.
You son of a bitch.
Have you seen Desperado lately? It's awesome.
No,
It's,
I have not seen
It's fucking
Desperado.
awesome, man. I saw it just like the other week.
Damn. Yeah, I thought about going back.
It's a fun ride.
And
And it's on Netflix.
Danny
the Swedish
Trejo
Net-
is in both of them.
Yes, yes. That's
It was
also
actually fun.
That was a good
That
part
was
of
a
this.
good one.
Yeah,
And I love
and the
how he's
Rancor.
such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's gone from the baddest
Yeah,
badass
and
to
he's
like
the sweetest dude.
yes, it's like machete snuggles. But yeah, the Rancor, all of
Yeah.
that, like
Even
cute.
the Rancor was great. Like,
But, yeah.
I expected that
Looked
one to
good, too.
Looked really good.
Yeah,
Like, why couldn't they have him just sit on the scooters and kill them all?
yeah. But that's also like we're
Scoot-
taking a monster
The
and making it
Scoot Gang.
Scoot.
Scoot.
Yeah, Scooter McGavin.
Scooby Dooby Doo. Yeah.
No, but they're taking feared monster like the Rancor and
Mhm.
making it like a dog, kind of.
But imagine then
Oh,
when
yeah.
he's on it. Like,
Oh.
I hope they do something good with
Oh,
that.
they are gonna. But how good is that gonna look? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we'll
there were
see.
so many.
No, but when he rode that fucking Tuscan elephant thing.
But that was not CG. That was practical.
Oh,
You
that
know what I
was like a Greek guy on all fours.
I'm
I was
guessing
just
they
like-
did.
It was a naked Greek guy, my
So-
cousin.
In the OG trilogy, it was elephants with fur on them.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe they just did the same with this.
Okay, cool.
Or maybe not. I don't know. But you could definitely see that it was real, what he was sitting on.
Okay, I don't remember.
And the
No,
background
but,
might have been not real. But yeah. Yeah, like,
Fuck, I feel so negative. I have
This-
nothing good to say. Even like when they were like chasing that secretary around
yeah.
on their scoots. I have no words to how slow they were driving.
And it just went on forever.
Forever. And
Half the
they
episode
squeezed in 3 different
Droids.
two droids and that rickshaw motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all like the same joke three times.
Yep.
In a super slow car chase with scoots and a Cadillac.
And if these guys were that sort of amped up with these
Badass.
modifications,
Yeah, because the water guy, the water
they
boy
would have taken
told
that
us,
car out like
yeah.
boom, like that.
Because it had no weapons or anything.
No.
He just like
Like then
drove through
one
market.
of them would have just sort of done a jump and then like
Yeah, used
broken-
his lighter to like burn his
like,
arm hair.
like
Oh, but they didn't they? Like hit his things like dunk
yeah,
on
one
the
was
side.
like stepping, you know,
Oh, was that
step
what he was
dancing
doing?
on
Yeah,
it, like
on
clink,
it.
clink, 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 and then the
You
other
like
one
this?
took
You
his
like
lighter,
this?
and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna ruin your finish.
Yeah, it's just a bullshit
And then he
scene,
crashed.
all of it. Yeah. And he was driving like Mr. Magoo. He
Yeah.
was just like, oh, it's so slow. I don't know what to do. Like, what the fuck was that car chase?
Yeah,
It was such a bullshit scene. Like,
Yeah.
all of it.
Horrible.
And then suddenly, out of fucking nowhere, Boba Fett lands. Like,
Yeah.
second. As soon as he crashes, he's like, just lands.
it's like, really?
You could have just done this, like, all
Th-
along. You
th-
could have
that
just
whole
landed
time?
on him. Yeah.
Yeah,
This didn't need to be a car chase.
nope,
A really slow car chase at that.
a slow chase.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Slow chase.
very, very bad.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
now what this episode is what I feared the show was gonna
Was
be.
gonna be, yeah.
Yeah. So this is already. I'm like, well, at least we had those two kind of okay episodes in the
I-
beginning. I actually do enjoy the first two.
Oh,
Like,
the first
really,
two I was
really,
fine with. Like
really
I
liked-
liked. It was sort of like, okay, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
But then again, Mandalorian did have a couple of crappy episodes as well that I was like,
But the cool,
why?
like,
Yeah.
because they let Black Chewie go. In the comics, he does face off against Obi-Wan. So that might be something that we're going to see in the Obi-Wan show.
Very cool.
So that's kind of cool because the character in itself is really cool. He
Mhm.
has like his knuckles are they grafted steel onto his knuckles, so those
Okay.
spikes are actually in
on his
on him.
Yeah. Cool.
So he is like a proper badass. He's a gladiator. He's just like
Yeah, because they said like sell him back to the.
exactly.
And the Jabbas are very well made as well. Like I
Yeah,
think they're good.
yeah,
with
they
their
work.
disgusting gerbils that
Yeah,
they like.
They're still disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But something that I thought about, by the way, is that there is a reason why Boba Fett sucks at the moment. Like, because he's in the tank all the time,
yeah.
trying to sort of like
Get his
get
youth
his
back or like
strength back. Yeah, I think he like being in the what's the whole the thing? Sarlacc. Yeah. Something happened. He was probably there for way longer than he should have been.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. We don't know how
yeah,
long he was.
we
in
don't
there.
know, and he's in the fucking tank trying to heal up.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever fucking heals up as
No.
well. Like, it's super slow, whatever happened to him, and we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot why. But like, this being the third episode, and he's still dragging ass,
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like Ivanhoe for me. That
Oh,
movie
yeah.
that everyone watches here in
New
Sweden.
Year's.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
where, like, Ivanhoe is knocked out the whole fucking movie.
Should be Ivan who?
Ivanhoe, yeah, because he just, like, he gets knocked out in, like, 10 seconds. in that movie, and then he's unconscious for the rest of the movie. Maybe delirious at some point or something.
That's how you
like-
make a good movie.
Yeah, and then the main guy that the movie is like
You got to subvert expectations,
Yeah.
Elias. The main hero is not supposed to be the hero.
the hero.
Everybody
yeah.
knows this.
But
Disney.
yeah, I'm a bit worried there that they're not utilizing him. Like, if he becomes the badass again at the last episode, then I'm not interested for season 2. You know what I
Because
mean?
he's
Like,
already dead, gone.
yeah. You've already.
Plus, like,
You can't save everything for the last reveal. You got to do something.
it bugs me that he doesn't wear his helmet at all now.
He takes it off all the time, and
when
it
he's
annoys
with,
me.
like, having meetings and,
Yeah.
like, why?
Why? Yeah.
In his personal chambers and stuff, when he's
Yeah.
just hanging out with the woman, what's her name?
I don't
Forget.
forget the woman.
The woman. The woman.
She's badass.
yeah, but-
I don't
she's
remember
really
now. Now
badass.
I've lost all the names.
But like I understand it then because they know each other
They
and
know
he's
each other,
not like
and
a
he's not a
Mandalorian in that
Mandalorian.
way. But whenever he's outside of that, he should wear the fucking
Dude.
helmet.
You could give Pedro Pascal some cred there because he fucking emotes
Oh yeah.
when he is the Mandalorian. That would have been like, maybe that's a cool interview to find, like talking about how he does it, because you
Yeah, this guy needs some pointers.
dude. No, but you actually do feel like you feel for the Mandalorian. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, he has so much character.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Boba Fett show, they haven't found Boba yet, like what they want him to be.
No.
And
And
it shows. Like, I really like the actor. I think he's perfect.
yeah.
But decide how you want to sort of like, like they should have a rule, like always have the helmet on official business. Don't
Yeah.
take it off to talk to the fucking Mocha
Mayor.
or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, when they talk to the mayor,
Yeah, don't need to take off your fucking helmet.
why do you
Or
take it off?
anyone like on the street, like take off the helmet. Like, it is such a, and he does it all the time. That is my problem. Like, if he did it every now and then, like, okay, take off the helmet, talk to these biker kids,
Yeah.
the Scoot Coot boys, and just like talk to them. I'm fine with that, but don't do it every fucking time you're gonna do something. Don't be the dummy-o.
Exactly.
Ah.
He is the dummy.
He is the dummy.
He is the dummy. Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. We have next one coming out in 2 days.
How many episodes are there? Like, how many were The Mandalorian? 10?
8 or 9 ish.
Yeah, because I feel like there is no room to
I think this
drag
one is
things
only
out.
like six or something.
And you wasted it on this shit?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the water boy complains, you
I'm
hire
hoping
the
that I'm
Scoot
wrong
Scoot
here.
boys.
And this is more of a boy guess or whatever you call them, poik gisning. But I feel like I've heard somewhere that it's like 6 episodes. Yeah. They just wasted one.
Fuck,
So-
yeah, I feel super bad being this negative about everything.
This negative.
This negative. That's what you heard.
Yeah. This negative.
No.
Yeah, fuck it. But yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna love Boba Fett from back in the day, and that's my hero. Like,
Thing is,
he was cool back then, you know?
I liked him in the desert as well. I
Yeah.
thought it was like a nice, okay, I see where this is going. This is going to be cool.
Yeah. And seeing him having to, like, really reboot himself and just
But that's
like,
what I mean.
I
It's
need to
like
become more
'cause
badass.
Because the thing is, you can't have Boba Fett be awesome, because then he can't become awesomer. You know,
Exactly.
like, you need to reset him a bit. Like, pull him back, break him, and then rebuild him, which is good.
But
But
he's not utilizing his armor at all.
Yeah,
Like,
there is nothing.
he's got so many things with his helmet. Like, when they walk in to find the mayor and that dude gone, he's got the helmet. He could see the footsteps from where he was. Like, he could
do
they
stuff.
They didn't do shit.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Is it Borkin?
yeah, it's Borkin. It's
I
definitely.
don't know.
Yeah. So
Someone's broken.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But
Yes, keep the faith.
keep the faith. Yeah, it's a sad day for all of us.
I'm thinking of going, like, start watching non this type of movies or shows again.
Yeah.
I haven't. I don't know when I stopped watching everything else.
I saw a great movie actually. It's called Adrift. It's based on a
Never.
true story. It's about a couple that they're supposed to sort of go sailing across the world, or and
But go adrift.
yeah. But yeah, the
Yeah.
the storm
Yeah.
happens and crashes, and then it's all about like trying to survive for what is it like? I'm not going to spoil it,
But it's basically alive, but not.
but on
in
a
the
boat
Arctic,
in the
yeah, but on
middle
a boat,
of
yeah.
the ocean. Like
Ah,
it's
scary.
very simple like that, but it's
But I think that's like.
but it's a great
I like-
movie. The acting is out of this world good. You really believe everything. There's a lot of moments where you felt like I'm gonna start crying soon, and like all of this. Good movie. Very like I had never heard of it before.
Yeah,
I
never
stole
heard
it
of
from my parents, so it's a DVD, but Adrift.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just something else different.
I thought of watching Baby Driver again.
Yeah.
A lot of.
A little
I
bit of a
just
warning. It's not as good as the time we saw it.
I don't think I didn't think it was as good the second time I watched
No.
it either. I
Like,
think the first time is you don't expect anything.
Yeah.
And it makes it better.
Yeah.
Like how it was actually for not being a cinema movie,
It was
great at the cinema. Like just how it
But
starts with
we
the
didn't know
music.
shit about the movie. We
Dude,
went
we
in
watched it
just
for the
because.
poster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just saw the poster and we're like, yeah, let's just
Yeah.
go see it.
And it was an Edgar Wright movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So that's basically what I knew. Poster, cool.
I didn't even know it was Edgar Wright when I went in to
No,
see
I
it.
saw
think.
it because I looked. I was trying to find the
Oh, you read
artist.
the poster.
I was trying to find who made the poster, and we didn't even know the name of the movie. So yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, let's try to see some good stuff for next week. Then maybe.
Yeah.
Did we
Okay.
have a plan for next week? What are we talking about?
I
Did
did
we have-
write some stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was good stuff or if it was stuff we already talked about.
Well, what have we not talked about?
Everything.
Everything. No.
Our biggest mistakes. Art as therapy was
Ooh.
requested.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I have that much to say on that subject though,
No.
because it's always therapy for me. Anything personal is sort of like a mind escape.
Everything
thing.
we do.
Is therapy.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk deeper about it. Like I think we've done it, but
Yeah. I mean,
Eh,
we've been known
it
to
is.
make gold out of
of
crap
thirds,
nuggets before.
Thirds.
So
yeah.
yeah, why the fuck not?
Art therapy.
Yeah.
Art as therapy. Next time.
Art ass.
Art as therapy. That is very good.
Yeah.
That's what
that's-
I'm
that's
writing on
next
that.
episode.
Art as therapy.
Fantastic.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, so writing that.
So good. Thank you guys for sticking with us
Thank you
for
so much.
this goddamn long.
And sorry for being
negative.
super negative.
you know where it's all good. It's all with love. We still love you, Boba.
Boba Fett.
Boba. Yeah.
Shabalba.
Shaboba. Yeah. Just remember to, keep the fett in Boba Fett.
Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. And the song is coming, and I have to go to bed now. So thank you so
tired.
much.
Thank
and,
you.
Up,
Dark
and,
time.
Dark time.
Dark time.
Dark time.